I'm Charlie, and we will be talking about feminism in its most basic form. A lot of people don't really understand what feminism is about. There's a lot of reservations when it comes to calling yourself a feminist, and I feel like there's not that great information out there unless you take like a women's gender studies class, because that's how I encountered feminism. When did you encounter it?
I think I've always been a feminist, but I've changed. There's different types of feminism. We're gonna get into it, and I feel like when I was younger, I was definitely more of a separatist. Like I was very into, women power and women only, and now I'm much more intersectional and inclusive, and definitely not isolating men into the conversation, but actually bringing them in. Into our arguments. This has been a very highly requested video by our male viewers, actually.
Yes. Understandably,
Yeah, and this is actually really great because we're going to talk about not only what feminism is and the different types, but we're also going to talk about how you can become an ally. And one of the great ways to do that is by asking these types of questions. What is feminism, and like what are you guys about?
So we're going to be answering that question first. What is feminism? Feminism is the belief that men and women should be treated equally. The fundamental definition of it is just equal rights. And equal rights can span to just like social stuff, but also in politics and in media.
Feminism is for both men and women to be treated equally, but feminism has expanded. It's been expanding since the 1960s when feminist groups also joined civil rights movement. Feminism movements have also kind of correlated and kind of meshed in and helped out other civil rights movements. My definition of feminism, like what I believe, is not only that men and women should be treated equally, but that genders across the board should be treated equally, because I don't think that you should be judged just because you have an XY chromosome, or I just happen to have XX chromosome. And that includes now in our culture transgendered women, because they also shouldn't be discriminated against the gender that they identify with, or their biological sex.
We're gonna take it back for you guys. Feminism is not new. We got to where we are. Women in society now have made a lot of progress. But there were definitely women before us who worked hard, did their best to get us to where we are now. So that's broken down into different waves.
The first wave of feminism was between 1830s and the 1900s. And those women in that era, they were focusing on just basic voting rights. They were much more into women in politics and just our voice in politics. And they had the women's suffrage movements in the 1900s, and then it culminated with us getting the right to vote in the 1920s.
Susan B. Anthony, that's the era that we're talking about. Suffragettes. There was actually a movie that came out about it, and it wasn't just white women. There were black women that were a part of that movement as well. We just don't really hear about them all of that much.
And we're gonna talk about why. We're gonna talk about why there's even differences within our own movement.